What it do, what it is, how y'all doing today? All my goblins, goblins, and everybody in between. Think we was up to 20. I love y'all. Thank you, I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, keep up with the Goblin Horde, see what else we got going on. Let's take a look at this one that apparently people are mad that the American I'm sorry, not American, he's British actors playing the new Black Panther. So let's see what's up with this.
This short British African David Johnson that Hollywood has been trying to force on us for the past few years is going to be the new Black Panther. I hate this. Will not be watching it.
In July 1966, writer-editor Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby created what we now know as the Black Panther character, as well as the fictional nation of Wakanda, and they made their debut in the 52nd edition of the Fantastic Four. Now, it's important to know that Black Panther, aka T'Challa, is not African American or Black American. He is an African fictional character, the king and protector of Wakanda, located in East Africa. And this storyline is different from what was happening in the 60s. Blacks were fighting for civil rights all across Black America, fighting for voting rights. And of course, these Black Americans were linked to their history of slavery. But Wakanda represented the opposite situation. It was an advanced isolationist nation, never colonized unlike its neighbors, and it was an ultra-advanced society containing vibranium.
He's right, you know.
This infrastructure allowed this country to protect themselves from colonial exploitation and outside interference.
And I'm guessing his buildup is just to show that he's not American, and so the actor playing him does not necessarily need to be American. You know, rest in peace, Chadwick. But he's not playing T'Challa. He's playing T'Challa Jr. essentially. The kid at the end of the second Black Panther movie has grown up, and that's who he is playing. So he's playing T'Challa's son, who was outside of Wakanda, kind of semi in hiding. Just as some background on that, it's not an American character at all. He is T'Challa's son.
By the time the 70s came, Black America was kind of adopting to Black Panther. But instead of breaking out into the mainstream, Black Panther maintained a cult following. In fact, the most famous comic book character of the 70s was Luke Cage in Storm. The 80s saw Black Panther in immediate decline, as well as the majority of the 90s, while other Black comic book characters like Storm reigned supreme. But then in 1998, something really interesting happened. The first Black American started to write for the Black Panther franchise, and his name was Christopher Priest. He gave T'Challa a new edge. He transformed the T'Challa character and revived it back for readers. Then after that, we would see Reginald Hudlin. He injected hip-hop culture and Black pride into the series. And then of course, Ta-Nehisi Coates is the one that took Black Panther to the mainstream.
He's right, you know.
Now, although Jack Kirby created Black Panther, these three Black American writers scaled Black Panther. They got it so popular that Black Panther was ready for the movie theaters.
I mean, that makes sense. You can only go so far when you do it. I mean, you could create something, and I'm not saying this just because, you know, he's Black, they Black, any of that, but you could create something. You come up with an overall concept, but somebody else as a writer may just do an overall better job at it. You know, it's one of the things that some people have to learn how to release control of. They do something, they want full control, they want to keep every aspect of it, and you may again have that is your character, you made that character, but the stories, you know, if you're trying to connect with a specific group, you may not be the person to do that. You may need to release that to somebody else. Just a little bit of a life lesson now.
And the first Black Panther in 2018 did not disappoint.
Damn.
This movie made $1.34 billion globally. And with Chadwick Boseman playing T'Challa, this franchise was going to continue to grow. In the United States, the movie made $700 million. Out of the $700 million, Black America contribute $259. That means 37% of the money came from us, which is typically unusual for most ticket sales. Now, in August 28, 2020, Chadwick Boseman would die from complications from colon cancer, but the film would still go on. In 2022, Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I don't know if he's going to mention this, but this is comic accurate. T'Challa did die, and Shuri took over as a Black Panther. She had a little gauntlets and everything. So what Wakanda Forever did was comic accurate. A lot of people didn't like it, but it is what it is. They was looking at replacing Chadwick, but again, he's following the comics. This happened, and really would have turned out to be in the comics, because nobody dies forever in the comics. Is that he wasn't dead and he came back and he took over again.
In which the film would still gross over $800 million. And $454 million of that would come in the United States, with Black America contributing 44% of that money, contributing almost $200 million. So when Ryan Coogler announced this,
I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our new Black Panther, Mr. David Johnson.
I want to say thank you so much.
Black Americans were pissed. And if you think about it, they got every right to be. Black Americans have supported this franchise more than...
I'm not going to say that's the case. I don't know what he going to say. I don't know what point he going to make. Maybe he changed my mind. Maybe I see it a slightly different way. I don't see what right they had to be mad. Again, this is an African character. It's like, as long as you fit the skin color, if they said this is your new Black Panther, if Matt Damon walked out there, I had some questions.
Anybody monetarily. The 3 Black American comic book writers are responsible for bringing it back to life, and it seems like a slap in the face. Huh? Now, British actor David Johnson is going to be the new T'Challa, and people are saying that this role should have went to a Black American. But the question is this:
do Africans watch Black Panther?
The total money for Black Panther in 2018 was about $1.34 million. The estimated money that the African box office brought was a whopping $9.3 million, which is even less than 1% of the total gate. In 2022, Black Panther Wakanda Forever would gross nearly $880 million, with the total African gate being around, at the most, $4.4 million. But with over 2.1 billion.
So the answer is no. Short answer is no. No, they do not. They might not even like it.
$1 billion made in the franchise. Africa contributed a whopping $14 million, which is well below 1%. So no, Africa is not contributing to Black Panther like Black Americans. There is a lot of criticism with...
Yeah, but that's that again. What? The guy is British. He's British. Like, just because Black Americans are the ones watching the movie does not mean that I guess I don't know what to call them, African British, Black British, whatever. The dude from England or from Great Britain somewhere, he's English. Doesn't mean he can't play the character. Like I would say in this case, if this was talking about like and to a certain degree, I get some of the complaints there are some Black people having as far as getting these English actors to play like these period pieces. So it's like a slave role, and they get these English actors to do that. Fine. I can kind of give you the argument on that one, because for me, it's always best job. Who's ever the best person for the best job, put that person in there. So if this guy is the best person to play this role, why not? Maybe did we not have any American actors try out for this role? Maybe he went straight to him. And Ryan Coogler is American. Maybe he went straight to him and was like, "Hey, I want you to play this role. I want you to play T'Challa's son." Like, maybe we don't know, but you just jump straight to conclusions, man, because the guy's English, because he likes crumpets and eat beans on toast.
Ryan Coogler, because he is the director and writer of Black Panther 3, and people are calling him out for basically not hiring a lead from the Black community. But
I don't even know what that needs to be said, to be quite honest with you, because he has shown us time after time after time after time that he can rise to whatever occasion.
Right. but again, it's the best person for the. So Creed, he did great with Creed. You know, he did even Sinners. That was a period piece. He got the same dude to play Twin Brothers, so he seems to know what he's doing when he picked these people. Like Sinners was the bomb. Like that was a great movie. Creed again. You know when people reboot stuff like that, it kind of be trash. But Creed was good. So he know what he doing. Let the man. The man's a chef. Let him go in there and cook. You gonna complain about the meal. As soon as you get it, you gonna be, oh, you know, it was good. I loved it. Yeah, okay. Just remember all this complaining that you did up front. Don't be talking about I supported this the whole time. Once the movie come out, and then you love the movie. Just remember the same energy you got now.
Is presented before him.
So if you look at Ryan Coogler in the last 15 years, most of these films are led by a black.
I'm gonna pause that again now. Just look, you know, Black Panther again. They love that one, Wakanda Forever. Not so much. It was alright, but it still did better than Sinners. People love Sinners. They love Creed. I remember Fruitvale Station. Man, that was one to go. If you ain't never seen that, go back and watch that. I never saw Judas and the Black Messiah. I knew of it, but I've never seen it. But I will say, Judas and the Black Messiah and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I would put those two at the bottom. Everything else is sitting above that. But he does a good job. Everything he's written and directed, as far as this list, has done a good job. Even on the low budget side, like Judas and Fruitvale, it still did a good job. It made the money back that was spent on it. And of course, Black Panther, again, given what it was, it just, you know, skyrocketed past whatever they spent on it, and it was a big hit as far as if you're looking at box office sales. So the man know what he's doing. Just trust the process.
American lead. He's done an excellent job in producing these films. So I think that he would know what he is doing, in my honest opinion, based on his track record. And then
So we called you African Americans. You were offended because it had the word African in it and wanted to be called Black Americans. Black Panther 3 is about to get released. You're African American again, and then you get mad because they're casting a British black person for the role of Black Panther.
Yeah, so I actually had a similar thing happen, and people got pissed off when I said it. They did the same thing. There are some Americans, as far as Black Americans, some don't want to be called African American because they're not from Africa, quote unquote. Which I understand that. Like if you from Texas, you know, and you were born and raised in Texas, you only been in Texas, you're a Texan. They say African American, but you're Texan. If someone migrates from Africa and comes to the U.S. and goes through the process and becomes a citizen, they are African American, you know, so the other ones are just Black Americans born and raised here. So I understand on that aspect. But the switching is what always confused me. When the first Black Panther came out and they came out dressed in like the whole African garb and all this other stuff and was talking about pride and all this other jazz, you know, it's fine to be proud of your heritage, and I will hope that it would spark interest so you go look up your heritage and learn where you came from. But it was a fad. It was a fad. As soon as the movie was over with, gone. It went right out the window. Like, so and then all of a sudden, here we come again. You know, you're African again because he's British. Which, again, the whole point of this is the movie takes place in Africa. Geologically speaking, it's closer.
Pick a side. Pick one.
So this lady has a point, right? She's saying that a lot of the Black Americans want to delineate from Africa, but at the same time, you want to be associated with Black Panther, which is it? Well, the problem with her argument is that it was Black Americans that revitalized Black Panther. It was not Nigerian Americans. It was not anybody in Africa that made Black Panther what it was.
And he's using the term revitalize like it came up and went back down. It was always down. So they didn't revitalize it. They're the ones who put life into it, or like they brought it up. So Jack Kirby and Stan Lee put life into Black Panther, but he was such a minor character, no one cared. It was not a big deal. To revitalize it needs to have some kind of vitality in the first place, which he never did. So these three guys bring it up and put it to where he is, to the point where they now have him in movies. He has his own standalone movie. He was in Civil War, all of that jazz, right? So again, they're saying they want an American actor. The argument makes zero sense to me because they want an American actor because it was Americans that, Black Americans that wrote him up and built him up. But again, the character takes place in Africa. The character does. Like, what's the problem here? You gonna say, "Oh, we did, we." It's an American comic book character. He came from an American comic book brand. Marvel Comics, is in America. So yes, it would make sense for all of that to happen because it happened in America. But the character is African. Like, come on. Technically, it'll make more sense for South Africa to play Black Panther because if you don't know he white underneath, you just see that the costume was Black Panther. Like the dude underneath don't necessarily have to be black. Somebody gonna set me on fire.
It was Black Americans that made Black Panther what it was. So I can see why Black Americans are so tied to Black Panther because financially they supported the most. And when the character was in the dumps, it was not Africans that made it what it was. It was us that made it what it was.
He's right,
So while I do believe that she has a point, she doesn't. And then we come to the point with British Black actors taking the roles of Black Americans. How should this be handled?
Ryan Coogler is in the position of being a lender. And when the Bible talks about a lender,
you are not bringing the Bible into a doggone Marvel movie issue. What kind of mess are we living in right now? All right, you know what? Let's see what she got to say.
It's better to be the lender than the borrower. So when people say, what have they done for us? We're blessed that people don't have to do for us. Okay, God bless the child who has his own. We're blessed that we don't have to beg for someone to give us roles.
I want to give a shout out to Marika C, the Blueprint on TikTok. She said something that's profound, that as Black Americans, we should be thankful that we have so much to give. Now,
yeah, I jumped the gun on that one. She was all right.
Now, I do understand a lot of Black Americans are tired of always having to give, and that's been the relationship that we've had for the most part in the Pan-African community or in the diaspora. The Black Americans have a higher expectation of giving opportunities to everybody else. And even though David Johnson, from what I understand, is an excellent actor and he will revitalize the brand for Black Panther as he's playing T'Challa II, this is something that is largely true, guys. And as much as we would want a Black American character, I would love to see somebody get in this role. What she's saying is we are already the role. In the Black British community and all the other migrants and stuff, they need us. They will always need us to a certain level. And because our community is so lit, we don't even have to worry about this. It is a way to think about it, although I know that some people don't like it. But what do you think, guys, in the comment section? Do you think that the Black...
Same here, again, courts, comments, concerns. I personally don't care. As long as you do a good job as far as the character, it don't make a difference to me. Because again, this is not I give the argument for like a period piece. If they're playing like a Harriet Tubman and then they go and get somebody from England to do it. So it's to a certain degree, I get what they're saying, but not in this case. This case, I don't get it. I guess I'm not against it. I'm not for it. So just smack me dab in the middle, paint me gray, call me neutral. Like I don't understand the problem. As long as he's a good actor, and I saw him in The Long Walk. He did great in The Long Walk. So and he played an American kid in that. So like again, I don't see the problem. But I didn't see an issue. Oh, you can just wait for the movie. If he do a trash job, then yeah, it was trash. Like plain and simple. They didn't come with the torches and pitchforks and don't actually do that, but they come out and be like, yeah, you suck, Ryan Coogler, you dropped the ball on this one, like, nah, never again. But he hasn't done the job yet. Let the man do the job, see if he sucks. If he sucks, hey, you was right. If he don't suck and you seem to love the movie, come back out with that same energy. Talk about, okay, yeah, no, I was wrong. It was a good movie. Yeah, but you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna slink back to your corner and then that till it's time to complain about the next thing. But I'm out. Deuces.